Clint, you mentioned the two big wide receiver pickups last year, Rob Thomas and Dominic Leggett, Colby Young this year. Can you give us, in addition to Colby Young, who you believe is that list of transfer players who could make an impact?
Yeah, absolutely. Colby Young and London Humphreys is the other wide receiver transferring in, gonna make a huge impact. London Humphreys coming in from Vanderbilt is a speedy possession receiver. Those two together don't really go. Possession receiver is usually somebody who has route running ability and catches the ball right near the line of scrimmage. But he is a speedster. When we played Vanderbilt, he was able just to absolutely demolish us for a touchdown. Drew streaking down the middle, speeding past linebackers. Dumas Johnson no longer part of Georgia. But I think it's quite incredible. Those two guys are going to fit right in perfectly with Lovett and with Rah, because those guys are technicians, can play any of the positions, but also huge possession, catchability, sure-handedness, trusted of Carson Beck. That's going to be huge. And sticking on the offensive side, ETN is going to absolutely feast in this offense. Everybody says one of the best returning running backs in the SEC. I think he is the best returning running back. We lost a lot of production to the draft, to graduation from running back, and we have a bunch of unproven or injured, so young or injured guys in the running back room right now. Roderick Robinson, another guy who we have high hopes on, but ETN's a different beast. The closest we can get kind of conceptually is DeAndre Swift, once of the Lions, then of the Eagles, now of the Bears. DeAndre Swift was able to put his foot in the ground, one cut, and up the field 20, 25-yard chunk plays. And we've been missing that in this Georgia offense for a long time. We've been missing explosive running plays. And if you're looking at offense, you say, well, explosiveness comes through there. Well, if actually you look at some of the top, Lane Kiffin, one of the top offensive minds, has a lot of runs, has more running plays in his arsenal than passing plays, because you can gain explosiveness from there. So I think ETN is going to allow us to absolutely have a different feel of running game. And then finally, McLeod over on the defensive line, Xavier McLeod, comes in, transfer, adds depth, probably doesn't add top and ceiling, but comes over from South Carolina, adds a lot of depth on the defensive line. Big man, over 325, over 6'5", and he is just going to be an added addition for a loss of Zion Logues and a lot of seniority over there. Kirby likes trench warfare, likes rotation of players to keep healthy and to keep fresh. And so I think those four names are going to be the standout ones for me this year to add a lot of added layers to this Georgia offense and defense.
And Clint, there's not going to be any issue with ETN being on the field. I know that he had off the field issues.
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably going to be, it could be a 1-game suspension. Kirby Smart, everybody hates Kirby for this, but look, it's his program. He gets to do. He always says, we'll handle that internally. Discipline handled internally. It's just every single time somebody will come and ask, and he will say the same line every time. I don't know why reporters keep asking him, but it's the same exact thing. I anticipate a suspension of some sort from in-house of Kirby. He may miss the Clemson game, in which case Roderick Robinson and the aforementioned guys will have to be leaned upon a lot more. But I do anticipate missing some time, but not a lengthy suspension, maybe even a half for that Clemson game.
Folks, please like the video here at the Voice of College Football and subscribe, and get on over and check out Clint's podcast with Clint and Daniel. They get together to talk Georgia football, and that typically drops how often?
We're daily. In the off season, we go 3 times a week, but in season, starting here in 2 months after July gets up and going, we'll be every single day, podcast, audio, wherever you download, as well as YouTube. And you can get both for us. And we'll be doing 6 in season when we do an after Saturday game reaction, as well as doing news and updates throughout the week of Kirby's pressers, injury reports, look aheads, and crossovers with other experts of other teams that Georgia is playing.
You mentioned KJ Bolden's development and what he needs to work on. Ellis Robinson, of course, at the top of the commitment list and signing list for 2024. Who do you expect could be a true freshman that could make an impact on this team?
Look, Ellis Robinson is a different breed of player from all accounts. He came in ready to go. His size is already there. His speed is already there. It's just trustability. And if you know Georgia, there's always been one cornerback who is probably locked down a position. And then the other cornerback opposite of him has always been a kind of roll of dice. And Kirby has no problem putting a freshman out there. Tyson Campbell was one of the guys that Kirby started freshman year early on. And so he's not scared to do it. And Ellis Robinson, if you look at all the experts on the recruiting trail, will say he was probably head and shoulders above other 5-stars. Not all 5-stars are created the same, and there's only a few of them. He was different. And so he came in and he is looking to start day one. And I wouldn't be shocked if coming out of fall camp, heading into Clemson, we look down and sure enough, we have a true freshman starting over there. Would not shock me in the slightest. He is probably my guy I'm looking forward to. KJ Bolden, again, might have actually a better career than Ellis Robinson because he's going to develop at probably year 2 in the system. The star position has a lot more complexities. Kirby likes to sit corners out on the island where you can just rely on pure athleticism, speed, and ability to read hips. And he does that quite often. We're like, man up, play, kind of the Seattle Seahawks of old. When they won their championship and then lost. That's what they do with corners. With safeties, you're asked to do a great deal more. You're quarterbacking a great deal more. So I do anticipate him to probably be the one I would look to most of all to get a lot of that. And then the second guy is actually a running back, Nate Frazier, might have a lot of opportunity. Again, guys coming back from Achilles and ACLs, ETN with that unknown game 1. But Kirby has never, ever let the tread on the tires go bare in the running back room, rotating a lot of guys because he knows if I want to get you to the league, you can't be tireless. You got to have something to show these NFL GMs. They got to be able to trust, no, you weren't just taking, 500 carries for 4 years in a row. So I think Frazier is probably the one I would look to skill-wise at the running back room. And we've seen, of course, freshman running backs at Georgia have great success. So those would be my 2 names to keep an eye on.